Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Anthony with themovieblog.com, and I'm back here with another video. This one, we're going to do a quick review on Into the Spider-Verse. So, I checked out Into the Spider-Verse. Honestly, it was spot on with my expectations. I was a little off in my theories and some of the things that I thought was going to happen, but I was really spot on with my expectations, and I was genuinely happy with the final results. Into the Spider-Verse is the cinematic introduction of Miles Morales into the Spider-Man mythos with an art style and soundtrack that differentiates itself from Spider-Man's films. The good. Now, the story for Into the Spider-Verse is really, really good. I had to rewrite this script a few times just because the story is so rich. I kept just focusing too much on that. The introduction to our heroes and their worlds is both clever and organic with some downright gut-busting humor and eye-catching imagery. Now, I like Miles' costume designs and choices throughout the film. I love the new origin for the character. I really don't have a problem with the way Miles spray painted the spider logo, because I pretty much assumed it was going to represent an early iteration of Miles' costume, and it's going to be, his first attempt at it, and I'm sure it'll get refined over time. The music of the film is downright infectious. I had a feeling that the soundtrack would be decent, but when you actually sit in the theater and you hear the tracks come on within the context of the film, it really stands out, like Biggie's in the soundtrack, and the use of a well-known Biggie song for Spider-Man who's from Brooklyn is downright poetic. The songs from Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, Juice WRLD, and vocals from XXXTentacion are all welcome additions as well, and I thought they just kept my head nodding throughout the entire movie. Now, Into the Spider-Verse is a lot longer than I expected. I felt like it was a full 2 hours of screen time. The movie doesn't feel too long, though. It doesn't feel too long, it doesn't feel too short, and that's a testament to the story, the pacing, and the direction of the film. Into the Spider-Verse is a Spider-Man film for all Spider-Man fans. It goes out of its way to present itself as an unapologetic love letter to fans who have followed the character in all forms of media. There are winks and nods to Spider-Man appearances in all sorts of media, from cartoons to video games to films. The only reference that I wanted but didn't see was maybe a cameo of Spider-Man's amazing friends, but understandably, there's a bit of an issue with the rights to those characters. The bad. Now, there are aspects of Into the Spider-Verse that are bad. I gotta say it. It's true. There's a bit of a villain problem here. The problem is that there's just way too many villains, and it's easy to lose track of who the primary villain actually is. I counted at least 5 prominent villains, Spider-Man villains, that appeared in the movie. Some have more of a presence than others, but nevertheless, it's a lot. It really is a lot. And in fact, there's so many villains, it's really not clear, again, who the main villain is until well into the movie. I feel like this confusion isn't a big detriment, since most of the film is devoted to the progression and development of Miles as Spider-Man, but nevertheless, it's an issue. The art style. Now, the art style it takes some getting used to. Some of the designs seem a bit weird and off as a result. I just have to put that out there. I just could not like the character design for the Kingpin, no matter how hard I tried. Everyone else was pretty acceptable, but man, the Kingpin was just an eyesore. I saw this movie in 2D. I'm told 3D is the better experience and might give it a chance in 3D if that's true. Just be warned that can be an issue for some folks. There's too many Spider-Men with too little to do in too little time. We're introduced to some cool looking characters that seem like they might be worth further exploration throughout the Spider-Verse movie, but we just don't explore them. We don't explore Spider-Gwen or Spider-Man Noir or Spider-Ham or Penny Parker. In fact, most of their appearances are cameos and fan service for gags. I would have loved for there to be a bit more insight into the worlds that they came from, but that's not meant to be in this film, maybe in a sequel. Overall, I wish there was a bit more for the supporting cast to do as well. Genki. We're introduced to Miles' parents, but only Jefferson has a substantial role. Genki seemed to appear in the movie but didn't have any lines or impact on the film other than a quick gag. I wanted to see Miles confront his villains a bit more. His fights with the villains they're there, but only one fight really stands out. All the others are just there. I don't know. They're really not a focal point of the movie. I like how this movie has a good amount of Peter Parker, but is certainly a film where he passes the baton to a protege. This could have easily been a Peter Parker movie in disguise, but they avoided that problem by firmly masking and making Peter a supporting character. There are times when the director seemed to tease the audience with Peter intending to assert himself into the central role. Those moments crop up here and there and work toward answering the question of, is Miles a worthy successor? Did I mention that I love this story? Overall, Into the Spider-Verse is a great film. It's a fun film. I don't think it's going to do the box office that I think it deserves, but it's going to be a landmark Spider-Man film in that it does the job of introducing the world to Miles Morales. That's all I got for this one. Let me know what you guys think of the movie in the comments. I'll check you guys later. 1.